Hey, Michael Grady here alongside Senior VP of Basketball Operations for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Matt Lloyd. Matt, good to sit down with you
Great
here,
to be here, man.
in the film room, and we're going to take some time to talk about second-round pick Leonard Miller, G League Ignite. First off, the draft war room, how excited, how pleased were you guys as a group to be able to land Leonard Miller?
Our background had been really, really good on him. We had really evaluated him over the course of 2 years, dating back to the Hoop Summit last season. I guess that would be 2 seasons ago, and then the whole G League Ignite season. So we had enough film on him, and then we had enough background on him, and then the third piece with our analytics group was really, really high on him. We were lucky to have a couple players still on the board at 33 that we were really, really excited about, and Leonard was one of them. So we walked out of the draft with a player that we thought should have been a first round.
It's really fascinating. I think fans sometimes don't realize, when you're evaluating a guy, it's not just this past G League Ignite season. You've been keeping your eye on him for a while.
Yeah, such a great point.
What are some things in his game and this whole evaluation process that you really like, that you look forward to seeing him one day eventually bring it to the Wolves?
The first piece is he's just got such fascinating defensive potential. To go from playing at the high school level that he played at, and he kind of bounced around a little bit in high school. He never really played high-level AAU basketball. And then his last stop in high school was a high school in Canada, an academy, where he was just dominating, the level of competition. So to go from that, to go to the Hoop Summit, to play against the best U.S. high school kids, and then he had a really tough decision to make about colleges. Colleges were pursuing him. National level programs were pursuing him, and he chose to go to the G League Ignite. And the G League Ignite did such a good job of making him push beyond the boundaries of where he was from a game perspective. He became one of the best rebounders in the league. He became one of the highest motor players in the league. And were he not 18, 19 years old, he would have been one of the top call-ups in the league.
Really, really interesting. Now, he averaged 17 points, 10 rebounds for the G League Ignite. So what we're going to do now is look at some of the clips from this past season and just get your thoughts on the newcomer, Leonard Miller. So let's start with this first clip here. All fake, the drive.
Yeah, so Leonard, it's just the fascinating, like we say, it's easy to have a real appreciation for his defensive tools, but he has a natural feel for the game, and we can see off this attacking this closeout. This is pro NBA caliber stuff. He's going to be bigger. His measurements and everything about his physical potential is really intriguing. We could see Leonard be one of these rare NBA players that covers 3 positions, 4 positions defensively. And as we can see here, at 18 years old, to be able to finish like this Jay Huff, he finishes that on Jay Huff. Jay Huff was a roster caliber NBA player last year, and he takes a contact at the rim and is still capable of finishing.
And throw down with the left hand. The athleticism, ridiculous here. All right, we'll get to the second play. Fast break.
Yeah, this is such a great example of one of the most endearing qualities about Leonard Miller. As we can see here, the ball is kind of a broken play. This guy sprints ahead of the ball in transition on both ends at a consistent pace and cadence. It's something that he was very much drilled into him this season, and he executed. We will never see a time, and this is going to start at Summer League, where he won't be ahead of the ball, and it's such an important quality, especially for a big look. He outruns a guard here to get that layup. Veteran John Jenkins is a veteran pro basketball player, and he is sprinting to the three-point line, and Leonard just passes him right up. So we're going to see a lot of opportunity like this. Anthony, our Mike Conley, our Kyle Anderson, the guys on our team that are consistent throw ahead in transition. Leonard's going to get a lot of easy baskets in the NBA because of his ability and willingness to run.
Do you like the fire in his belly? You show the enthusiasm at the end of the play. Obviously, it's a reverse dunk on a fast break, but he's got a motor and an energy about him.
He's got a real positive, his whole aura is positive. An old scout told me this one time when I was 100 years ago when I started doing this, and it reigns true today. Who you are on the floor is generally a good representation of who you are off the floor, and this is who he is off the floor. he's an enthusiastic, live body, and these types of things are valuable in the NBA today.
Man, I love the fact you point out him, again, beating the pack on that fast break situation. Clip number 3, another fast break opportunity.
Yeah, Leonard ended up the season as one of the best rebounders in the G League, and this part of his game right here is a very good clip, because we can see he's going to be able to, and he's going to be encouraged to, start in the summer league, is to get defensive rebounds and push the ball in transition. He was basically a small forward or a ball handler, playmaker at the high school level, and that part of his game wasn't really completely calibrated. But last year he got better. He kept coming, and his willingness to be a rebounder really gives us an advantage, because he is a skilled player. He's got a good handle for his size. He's got very good vision and passing instincts for his size. And as he grows, again, we could see a multi-position defender that's capable of being a shot creator from his position.
It was wild. That was one of my questions was, what is his position? I mean, you watch this play and the ball handling, and then the physicality on the drive to clear space and finish. I mean, this is what we're seeing a lot in today's NBA, is just kind of positionless basketball, right?
Yep. And imagine this at age 25, when he's 2 inches taller and he's 20 pounds heavier. This is just going to be, he'll be a steamroller. And I think Tim answered that question at the press conference the best way. He said, I don't know what position he is, but I do know he's a basketball player and he can defend multiple positions. So Leonard's going to kind of offer us these types of hustle plays and these types of run-outs, but he's also going to allow us to have defensive versatility in our pick and roll coverages from the bigs position. He'll be a basket protection vehicle, and he's just going to be a wired-in, focused defensive rebounder.
Speaking of defense, let's get to the next clip. Some really good offensive plays showing the hustle.
Look at him again. He's just sprinting to catch up with that guy. He identified the problem, and he went to address it. And this is where he just has such a big capacity for growth and real NBA effectiveness. To chase that guy down, to recognize the issue at hand, and chase that guy down, who was an NBA player, Jamal Cain. That speaks to his potential.
Is this something that a guy has in him or they don't? I hear coaches, preaching and talking to guys about hustle, get back down on defense, and some guys just do it naturally.
Yep. I think with Leonard, I wouldn't say it's been a process, because everyone spoke so highly of his, innate natural motor. But it is something that, he's going to be able to leverage properly in the NBA. I mean, these are against NBA caliber opponents, and he's, I'm just glad we don't have many clips against the Iowa Wolves, because at the end of the season, he had 2 really big games back to back against us.
And before we get to the last clip, you've mentioned a couple of times about, making plays against guys who have played at the NBA level or are certainly capable of playing at the NBA level. Just the growth that we've seen in the G League overall, and these guys with G League Ignite and Leonard specifically. I mean, this is a great training ground for the next level that really wasn't there not that long ago.
Yep, and the G League Ignite program has a couple years of experience now in player development, and so they've been able to figure out how to properly, put these guys in position to succeed. The program's evolution over the last 4 years is something to be lauded. I mean, and we can see here they're 11-16 in this game, so they're still fighting around. They're sub 500, but they're fighting. They're in the mix, and that's with a team of younger players. So the program has done a really good job of preparing players over the last couple of years, and Leonard's a good product of that.
All right, our final clip, another look at the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, this is another good example. So he's guarding an NBA caliber small forward on the top of the floor, and he still has hand quickness and a timing and awareness enough to make a really good play on top of the floor. And this is where, we could see him, the evolution that Jaden McDaniels has made, the improvement that Josh Minot has made over the course of the season is probably representative of our player development group, putting a lot into these guys. And luckily, Leonard is kind of like a sponge. It's not just in addition to his natural ability of both his size and his length and his athleticism, his feel and IQ are solid, and he's got the willingness to learn, and he's learned over the course of one season pro basketball the cadence of the season and the practices and the shoot-arounds and playing back-to-backs. He's really going to benefit from that.
And on this play specifically, I mean, the poke away, the hustle to get it, and then the willingness to make that pass there and not try to force something himself.
Yeah, he really is a natural playmaker from the position, and it's such a great advantage when you have, again, looking ahead at age 25 and 6 years when he's fully matured and physically, and he's able to better leverage those skills. He could really be a handful.
I really like what we're seeing on Leonard Miller, 33rd pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I appreciate you coming to sit down in the film room, breaking it all down for me.
To see you, Mike.
Congrats on a great draft. Thank you. Always great seeing you too.